Hi, my name is Brooke Weinhuber. I'm currently 19 years old and I'm doing this video to raise awareness of suicide and the effects that it has on others. I'm going to start off by telling you something personal. I'm going to talk about my dad, Patrick Weinhuber. As I grew up, I noticed small things that weren't right with my family, but it wasn't until I was 15 years old when I realized exactly what was wrong. I came home from a friend's house to be sat down by my mom and told that my dad was in the hospital. He had tried to take his own life. Thankfully, he didn't succeed, but sadly, my dad always succeeded if he set his mind on something. And after one more attempt, that's just what he did. My dad always told us that we would be better off without him, that life would be better for us if he were no longer here. And yes, he did put my mom and I through a lot of pain, but we weren't better off without him. I can't help but think that I won't have him here for me when I want or need him. He wasn't there to see me graduate, or get my license and my first car. He isn't here to torture the guys that come into my life, or meet my amazing friends. He won't be there when I graduate college, or to help me move out into my first place on my own. During the things that go on in my life, I'm always going to be wishing that he was here with me. I'm now going to interview some people and ask them some questions about how suicide has had an effect on them.
I know two people. My aunt, who partially raised me, and a cousin who I knew when I was younger, just recently, like 3 weeks ago, shot himself.
Yeah, I've tried committing suicide once or twice before, and I've thought about it a lot. Generally, when I was a younger teenager, maybe in like sophomore year or so, and I know someone that has in my senior year of high school.
I do know someone that has.
When my aunt died, it was kind of a first family reunion, and it was really hard. People kind of blamed her, called her selfish, called her lots of mean names, but I kind of was numb to it for a while until I realized that she was really gone. She had a drug problem and an alcohol problem. So yeah, I don't know. It was really hard for about 3 years. I still cry to this day sometimes, but it's part of life, I guess.
Well, with me, after I tried, I shocked myself, mainly because I didn't think that I would be capable of that sort of thing. It was just a little different experience, actually trying and not succeeding because, one, of the pain, I'm no masochist, and two, just because it scared me. But when a classmate committed suicide in my senior year, I kind of felt hollow inside for the next 3 days, just because like we knew him, and he was there one day and then gone the next, and it was just strange.
I would say it was one of the hardest things that I've been through. It was one of my really close friends.
People didn't start treating me differently until they knew, because I'm a really private person, so I don't really tell people things like this, so it's kind of weird doing an interview about it. But yeah, unless the subject of suicide came up, and I brought it up because I know people who have tried, even really close friends. But knowing someone and of succeeding is a lot different than someone who has just tried. So people kind of just look at you like with those sad eyes, like they feel bad for you, where they really shouldn't feel bad for you. It's kind of awkward.
I don't think I don't think anyone treated me differently, just because, one, people didn't really associate me with being friends with friends with the person that committed suicide in high school, and I never told anyone, except for right now, about when I tried to commit suicide back in high school.
I would have to say no, probably because I wasn't family or anything.
When I was younger, I thought suicide was for selfish people, for people who kind of didn't care about anyone else but themselves. But until someone actually succeeded who was really, really close, I think it's a lot different than people think. I don't think it's just a chemical thing in your brain or an imbalance. I think that they legitimately just aren't happy, and if someone's not happy, they should be able to make their own decisions. I don't understand why people get arrested for trying to commit suicide. I don't understand why people get institutionalized. I kind of think life is life, and you make your own decisions. And if that's what you choose, that's what you choose.
Yeah. As I said before, like, after I tried it, it just, like I said, it shocked me, and then I wondered how a person could do that to themselves, that it must take a lot to want to do that or something, because I couldn't.
I guess maybe an aspect that different people's opinions, some people may be saying that it's selfish, and that I didn't agree because I think it's a mental health issue, and I think if somebody's hurting enough to be able to do that, then they're in a lot of pain.
Not only did my dad commit suicide, but several people throughout my life did so as well, and for a while, I myself was suicidal. This is a bit harder for me to say because I normally don't talk about this part of my life. I started becoming depressed when I was in junior high, when I noticed that things in my life weren't as normal as I thought that they should be. This was also around the time that I was learning about my dad's suicidal thoughts and attempts. After I lost my dad, my suicidal thoughts became a lot worse. I could never find myself happy with my life or anything around me. I started cutting myself and found myself thinking of ways that I should die. I sought for all the help that I could get, and I overcame a lot of feelings. I still suffer from depression, but it's not as bad as it once was. I did something that my dad didn't. I got help. What I want everyone to know is that suicide is a major problem in our time, and it's more common than everyone thinks. Something that needs to be stopped is the silent treatment people give to suicide. Suicide and depression are not diseases. I promise that if you're around someone that has suicidal thoughts or is depressed, that you won't end up catching it. So don't treat it as a disease when someone dear to you has these problems. Be there for them. You don't have to know what to do or what to say. Just being there is good enough. Trust me, I know from experience. It doesn't do anyone any good by ignoring it.